Welcome to Soul Yoga Online. We hope you enjoy your virtual experience.
And for you friends at home, you can either use two pillows on top of each other, or you can take your yoga mat and roll it back up and use it as a support. So just like a rolled blanket behind you, you can place that rolled yoga mat behind you. Go ahead and recline. Yeah, let's start with supported fish. So we'll start here. Recline on a support of some sort. And people are still, I think, trickling in at the moment, so we'll take a few minutes before we properly begin. So we're going to start today reclining on a bolster. So you can sit in front of your bolster and then move back onto it. When you're all settled and ready to dive in, let's take a nice, natural breath in and out. Making sure that the weight of your head is supported by the cushion beneath you, and that your neck is not doing any work. You can even turn the head a little bit right and left to make sure that the neck is fully disengaged, fully relaxed. And the weight of the shoulders creates a heaviness that allows the heart center to be open. Perhaps flipping the palms face up in order to allow the shoulder blades to fall off the edges of the mat. Fingers drooping over. Hands ready to receive and ready to let go. There's no work that the belly needs to do in this moment. We're simply receiving the natural movement of breath, allowing the breath to fall in and fall out. Hips are heavily resting on the earth, allowing a wave of relaxation to travel down the legs and out each toe. You are here now. You are practicing yoga. Letting go of anything that happened before this moment, anything outside of this room. Let's simply focus on the deepening of the breath, allowing every exhalation to release what does not serve you. And every inhalation draws in a little bit more vitality and strength, circulating that strength throughout the body. So even though we are technically in the season of spring, the kidneys are the organ that we rely on to help us get through the dark, cold season of winter. And we're having a little echo of the winter season right now in our quiet and darkness and retreat inwards. So the kidneys might be doing a little extra work than they normally would be in springtime. So supported back bends like this are very nourishing and helpful for the kidney energy to refill. And they are helpful for relaxing the adrenal glands, those stress glands, to get them to calm back down. So as we're taking a few more breaths here, you might imagine the kidney area, the base of the ribs in your back, beginning to soften, beginning to receive a little more nourishment from each breath. Picturing those organs vital and healthy and full of life. Let's take one more nice deep breath in and out. And then we'll simply roll off of the bolster onto your right side. Curl up there on the earth, pausing for a moment. You can push the bolster away. You can cushion your head if you'd like, and simply pause and notice how you feel. Notice the quality of your breath. Notice if there's a little distance between your awareness and your thoughts. You can zoom out a little bit from your thoughts and just let yourself be. So if they're not already, curl the knees in a little closer to the chest while you're on your side here. So you snuggle into a little ball. And the bolster, you can push it out of your way behind you. We're preparing for a twist. Let's take the left hand and lift it up to point to the ceiling, and then continue to let that left hand fall past vertical, till the left shoulder blade hits the floor behind you. So that's why we want to really get that bolster out of the way. Good. Your right hand might come down to hold onto the outside of the knees, and we're using the exhalations to deepen the twist here. Every time you exhale, drag the belly button straight back towards the spine, nice and slowly as you hollow out and fall into the twist. Each inhalation is natural and effortless. Slow, steady press of those exhalations. We are decompressing the spine and getting that vitality, that blood flow, that breath, a little deeper into the internal organs. Let's take one more good exhalation in this shape. And then we'll inhale the knees back up through center and just sigh that breath out. We'll take a big stretch on our backs, a big morning stretch, fingers away from toes, out to the edges. That's a fascial sensation, the fascia when you stretch like you just woke up. Let's take a little arc to the left and an arc to the right, making some space for the ribs side to side. And then when you're ready, curl back up into a little ball and tumble over onto your left side. So rest on your left side, curled up into a little ball. Shove those props out of the way. Usually there's more space for your props if you pull them up by your head. For some reason that tends to get things out of the way. Once you're fully rested on your left, just take a breath here, pause and notice. Feel the widening and relaxing of the rib cage on every breath. So every time you inhale, the right ribs are going to puff towards the ceiling a little more. Every time you exhale, they'll cave in towards the left. And when you feel like you've really settled into this side, then we can reach the arms in front of you and take that right hand lifted up to point to the ceiling and let it continue to tumble behind you. That's it. Until the right shoulder blade lands on the earth behind you. The left hand can hold onto the knees, especially if they start to float. And every exhale, we are falling a little deeper to ground. Three more rounds of breaths to complete this posture. Really focus on emptying out, releasing what does not serve. And then we'll use an inhalation to come back to center and just sigh that breath out. Coming onto your back. And again, you can stretch out or curl up. Take a moment here to get oriented on your back. Feel the connection of your back against the earth. Nice. And if you haven't already, let's hug the knees into the chest for Apanasana. We'll rock a little side to side and bring your awareness to the places where your back meets the earth. See if you can massage your whole back against the floor with this rocking and rolling. Almost like a bear scratching its back against a tree. Like push down into the earth with your back. Option 2, bring your hands onto your kneecaps and make circles with your knees, bringing that massage down into the lower back, into the sacrum as well. If you're doing that, try to keep the shoulders as heavy as you can, jaw relaxed, maybe switch the direction of the circling of your knees. Or you could even let your hands rest and just do this with the power of your core and legs. Coming to stillness, let's roll out the ankles a little bit, curl and stretch the toes, bring some life force into the feet. Got it. And then we'll reach for the inner arches of the feet, preparing for happy baby. Pull in the knees down towards the armpits. And again, rocking a little side to side, continuing this back massage. So again, we're sending that love and nourishment to the kidneys. Beautiful. Coming back through Apanasana, we'll hug the knees into the chest, and then plant the feet nice and firmly on the mat close to you. We're preparing for bridge pose. Let's find a little activation of the inner thighs as if there's an imaginary block between your knees and you're squeezing that invisible block, or a literal block if you have one nearby. We'll push down into the feet and spread all 10 toes. Let the hips rise up naturally when you push down. Every exhalation, let the hips return to the earth. So we're floating up and down in our bridge pose. Again, keep spreading all 10 toes. Use the whole sole of each foot to really press down and rise up. You got it. So we will add the arms into this flow. Every time you inhale and lift the hips, reach the arms up to point to the ceiling and let them fall to the floor above your head. As you exhale, return the arms to point the ceiling and back down at your sides, the hips lower to the floor. You got it. So up and down with the rhythm of your breath, tracing this gentle arc in the air around you. As if your fingers were moving through warm water, making gentle ripples under the surface. So the more we push down and forward with the strong sole of the foot, the more it will invite the chest up towards the chin. The neck is still passive, no work for the neck to do here. If you're feeling energized, you're welcome to stay lifted in your bridge pose. If you choose to stay lifted, you might like to drive the backs of your arms down into the earth beneath you, maybe bending at the elbows so the hands float and really dig the backs of the arms down. Or if there's another bind that you prefer, you can go there. Let's take about 5 strong breaths in bridge pose. When those breaths are completed, we'll gently roll back down onto the earth, returning the hips to the floor. If you've got that block between the knees, you can remove it at that point. While we're resting here with the feet on the floor, let's point the arms back up to the sky again, point straight up at the ceiling, catch opposite elbows. As your knees shift to the right, let your elbows shift to the left, that's your exhale. As you inhale, bring knees and elbows back through center, and next breath out, we shift and twist the other way. So rock side to side here with your breath. We're once more looking for a little back massage against the earth, this time up into the mid-back. Last round on each side. And then let's come back to center. Once more, we'll take that big morning stretch, fingers away from toes, maybe a little left side stretch, a little right side stretch. And then let's prop the upper body into fish pose. So we'll lift the head and shoulders and tuck your elbows underneath you. And lift the chest up. So we're going to tuck the elbows behind you. Good. And then maybe let the weight of the head fall back. Thinking up with the chest, we'll take 1 or 2 final breaths here. Opening up that respiratory system. And then first we tuck the chin to the chest and then use your arm strength to push your body the whole way up to a tall seated position. So we're in a seat with our legs nice and long in front of us. Welcome to seated. And we'll take a little swim towards the legs. So first let's just give the legs some loving touch, a little pressure onto the tops of the thighs, warming up the knees, the outsides of the hips. You can move your flesh around if you need to feel more grounded into the earth. And then let's take the right arm behind you, like you're swimming in the pool. Take a big inhale as you go back. As you exhale, cross over the lap to the outside of the left leg or foot. Inhale the left arm back and up. And exhale, swim it across the lap to the outside of the opposite leg. Keep doing this crisscross swimming. Pull it back and exhale, cross it forward. Good. So we're feeling a sense of twist as you reach back, a sense of side bend as you reach over, a sense of forward fold as you dive down. Continuing to nourish the back of the body, the kidneys, taking care of our adrenals. So in Ayurveda, the word for the immune system is ojas, O-J-A-S, ojas. And the force that rules the nervous system is called vata, V-A-T-A, vata. And those two qualities are on a seesaw. They are inversely related. So the more vata you have, the more frazzled your nerves. That means the less ojas you have, the less immune strength. And vice versa, the less frazzled your nerves are, the calmer your nervous system, the more immunity you're going to have. Let's find our way to stillness here in a nice forward fold. If you want to return to that loving touch on the legs, you can. Relax the weight of the head and send some breath into the mid-back, into the kidneys, into the base of the ribs. So the more we can soothe the nerves, dial down the nervous system, the more chance our immune system will have to become stronger and more grounded throughout the body. We can think of that ojas as a beautiful golden bubble that surrounds us and things just bounce off and fly. Let's take 2 more breaths in our forward fold. And then as you slowly come to seated, slide the hands up the backs of the legs, catch the knees and bring the knees with you. Bend the knees and bring them with you. Roll the heart open, shoulders engaged towards the mid-back. Gaze up, lift your heels, and maybe tip a little bit backwards into a balance. Let's breathe here and gaze left and right. And just like in bridge pose, we want that imaginary block between the knees. So you want to activate your legs towards each other. You could roll out the ankles here if you like to. If you want to play with balance, you could explore grabbing your feet. It might make you tumble around. So play with what works for you. Nice lifted heart is what we're looking for. Get a couple final breaths here. Beautiful. And then let's bring the soles of the feet together as we place them on the floor. Let the knees come wide. Give the feet a little massage. So nice long drives of the thumb from the heel up to the ball of the foot. And then some circular massages around the ball of the foot. And give each toe a little tug with your fingers. Every toe gets a little pull, bringing your life force down into your feet. The fingers dig into the long bones on the top of the feet. And we massage the ankles a little bit. Opening the feet like a book. Let's find our tall spine again. So lift up, find that nice tall spine. Just with the hand on the clock, we're going to tick forward slightly, like 1 second forward in time. And swing a little bit to the right. Maybe your elbow might even touch the knee. Swing forward and over to the left. So let's time it to our breath. Inhaling and exhaling in the rhythm, side to side. So you could stay with this side-to-side motion, or you could play with it. If you want it to become a big circle back and around, you could do that instead. If you'd like to pause in stillness and simply breathe through a sensation, you could always pause in stillness. Or you could stay with this tipping left and right. The heart of this practice is breath and sensation. What is the relationship between your breath and what you feel? And that's it. That's really it. And we make ourselves feel all these different things and then notice how our breathing changes. So stay with that focus. If you haven't found stillness already, you might take a moment for stillness. Play with gravity. A little trust fall with yourself, let it catch you. And let's take a nice exhalation out of the mouth. Curling the spine the whole way back up to seated until the heart lifts a little bit past neutral, getting some light, some fresh air. Notice how you feel. And then let's pick up the right knee and extend the right leg straight. You might like to pull the left foot in a little closer. We'll inhale to reach the arms forward and up to the sky, and as you exhale, pivot towards the bent leg. Press up towards the fireplace. We'll lower the hands down so that the right hand is on that bent knee, and the left fingertips touch the earth behind you, or maybe a prop behind you. Really press the right foot forward towards the front of your mat as you exhale away from it. So really getting into that twist here. You might shift your gaze from one shoulder to the other to get a nice little twist in the neck as you one more exhalation here. We'll inhale back to center and simply side breath out. So let's pick up this left knee. We'll cross the left leg over the extended leg. Hold onto the knee with the opposite hand and manually pull the belly past the thigh as the left fingertips touch the earth behind you. Same direction of a twist, but now we've got the leg there massaging the belly as well. Let's take a couple moments to breathe. And then we'll find a little playful balance. So bring the torso back forward. We will place the right hand behind you, close to your hip. Take this foot and step it one step farther over. Yep. Roll up onto your outer right hip so that the outer edge of your foot is on the floor. And now we're going to push down in order to lift the hips up off of the floor. And see if you can lift, yes, out of your right shoulder joint. You got it. One more breath here. Good. As you lower down, let's roll back to center and let it pull your knees close together. We're looking for half cow face pose, Ardha Gomukhasana. So with the knees nice and close together. Take an inhale to get tall. Exhale, we're tipping forward and relaxing the weight of the head. When we do this, the bent leg has really locked the other leg into that straight position, so you might feel much more of a hamstring stretch on the straight leg than you normally would without the Gomukhasana variation. So just take a few breaths here. legs for walking me around all day, supporting me, connecting with you. Let's come back up to a tall seat. We'll take one final twist now that the legs are in a new arrangement. We're taking the right hand across the body to catch the outside of the knee. Push against it as the left fingertips come back. Notice if you feel this somewhere different on your spine than you felt the other twist. Twisting helps pull your energy back into your center, like a spiral, like a labyrinth, swirling inwards. This helps with introspection, digestion, integration, pulling inwards. Let's take one more exhale. We'll inhale back through center, reach your arms forward. Put the shoulder blades away on your back, lean back, and float your legs. See if you can catch the ankles against each other in a big boat pose just for a moment. Very nice. Be playful with it. Explore. Catch your knees. Put them back down on the earth. You got it. It's a fun one, right? Let's go ahead and take this left leg, straighten it out in front of you. Let the right knee drop. So we're starting our whole adventure on the other side. Let's inhale the arms up to the sky. As you exhale, pivot towards your bent leg. Lower the left hand onto that knee, right fingertips to the earth behind you. Excellent. Really push through your left foot as you twist away from it. And if you'd like, you can take your gaze from one shoulder to the other. Remember, when we're working twists, it's the exhalation that helps us deepen into the twist. Inhale is gentle, exhale is long and deliberate. Here's where we get to see if your teacher remembers all of the things we did on the other side. So let's, let's inhale our way back to center and breathe it out. We're going to lift this right knee up, step it across the extended leg. And we're twisting the same direction. Hold on with the left hand. Manually pull the belly past the thigh as you bring your right fingertips behind you. Excellent. And use your exhalations to twist here. So notice how this feels. Is it more of a digestive twist this time, or is it still mostly a spinal twist? What do you feel? And how does your breath affect what you feel? One more exhalation. And then we'll inhale through center, let the breath fall out. Here comes our fun little balance. So the left hand comes behind your hip, close to you on the floor. We are stepping the foot one step farther over your leg. Roll up onto your outer left hip, outer foot on the ground. We're going to push down with the feet and hands to lift the hips up nice and high. Good, and rise out of your left shoulder. Joy, beautifully done. As you exhale, lower the outer hip back down, and then roll closed and see if you can get those knees very close together. Gomukhasana, cow face, or Ardha Gomukhasana, half cow face pose. We'll take the left hand across. No, we folded first, didn't we? There we go. Let's fold our way forward. Relax the weight of the head. And we'll breathe here, so getting that intense hamstring stretch in the back of the left leg. Play with gravity. Let it touch you. Finish an exhalation here. And then inhale your way back up through center, side and out. And now let's take that twist. So the left hand comes across the outside of the knee. Push against it so that the right fingertips can come behind you. Twisting towards the right edge of your And notice where this spine hits, twist hits on your spine. One more exhalation here. As you inhale, come back to center and slide out. And here's where we reach forward, put the shoulder blades at home on the spine, lean back, and see if you can float the legs, squeeze them against each other, squeeze the ankles, just play with it, yeah. Hold onto the knees, let's step the feet onto the floor. Place the hands onto the floor behind you. We're going to tip the hips forward and up and lift up out of your joints, pushing the floor away from your reverse table pose. Good. One more breath here. Exhale, lower the hips back down to the earth. Inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. And exhale, hug the backs of the legs. Curl into a little ball. Breathe into your back again. Stretch into that kidney area. Now, if you keep your belly and thighs locked against each other, you're welcome to slide the heels forward to your capacity. But we want that seal of the belly against the thighs. Once you're in your variation, again, tuck the chin and stretch the back. It's really not for the legs, it's for the back. Breathe into the back. Eventually, release the arms, let the legs fall flat. Take an inhalation to come to a halfway lift in your spine with straight legs. Exhale, forward fold over straight legs. And we'll just take a couple breaths of stillness here. We'll use an inhalation to come the whole way back up to seated. Lift the arms up to the sky. Exhale, place the hands on the earth behind you. Point the toes, lift the chest. You can stay here, or if you'd like, lift the hips up as if the toes might someday touch the floor. Breathe into the chest, gorgeous variations, nice. And then exhale the hips back down, back up through seated. Great. So let's change our orientation. We'll take ourselves to table pose, hands and knees. If you have a blanket with you, you might like to put the blanket under the knees. I'll try not to keep us here too long because I know we don't all have blankets. And let's simply find some cat and cow movements of the spine. Inhaling to drop the belly and lift the head and hips. Exhaling to curl inwards, stretch the back, tuck the chin, and tailbone. Flow between those two poses with the rhythm of your breath. Inhaling to open the belly, and exhaling to open the back. The next time you come to a neutral table pose, stay there in that flat table pose. We will take the right hand, lift it up for a moment as if you're going to point at the ceiling. Exhale, slide the right hand underneath the chest and rest the head and shoulder on the earth. Pausing here for this mid-back twist. And then if you'd like to play with a balancing posture, you could slide your left toes to the back of the mat, but keep the hips square so you've got a straight left leg extended behind you. See if you can deepen the twist to help stabilize yourself. And then if the left foot wants to float off of the floor, it can, but keep twisting closed in your hip. Drop, yes, good. The top of the thigh is facing the floor. The more you twist closed, the more balanced you will be. Beautiful stability. Just a couple more breaths. And let's carefully lower the left knee down. Put the left hand where you can see it on the floor and push the floor away from you to lift the right arm up to the sky again. Exhale that right hand down to the earth. Give a little wiggle if you need on this side. And let's balance that twist on the other side. Left arm lifts up to the sky. Exhale, sweep it underneath you. Rest the head and shoulder on the earth. Even if you plan to do the variation first, just be here. Just balance here for a moment. Rest here for a moment. And then if you'd like, slide that right leg straight behind you, nice and strong. Keep the hips closed. Breathe. And if you'd like, you could lift the right leg a little, but keep twisting closed. Yes, beautiful alignment in the hips. Very good. Keep closing the right hip down. Yep, drop the right hip down. Twist closed. You got it. Yes, yes, yes. And continue to breathe into whatever you're feeling. And eventually, we'll let that right knee come back down to the earth. Plant the right hand where you can see it. Inhale that left arm up to the sky. And then exhale back to table pose. Let's take one last little cat and cow pose here. And then we'll dip into our child's pose. So the knees widen slightly. The big toes are touching. Hips back to heels. Forehead to neck. So as you're here in child's pose, we want to breathe the whole way down into the bottom third of the body. So thread your breath down the spine, fill the lower back with breath. You might even feel the glutes moving with your breath, the pelvic floor or the backs of the thighs, expanding as you inhale, relaxing as you exhale. I always like to imagine like a little lightning bug, a little firefly, and its whole bottom lights up and then goes dark, and then lights up and goes dark. So that's what we're looking for, get that life force down into the pelvis. The upper body is completely at rest. In this child's pose, let's really stretch the arms forward so the upper arms are close to the ears. And then bring the palms against each other like a prayer. Okay? Stretch those arms to the front of the palms together as a prayer. And then hinge at the elbows so that the hands lift off of the floor. And see if the thumbs will drop to the back of the neck. You got it. You can readjust the elbows as needed to get a good stretch in the back of the arms. Let the heart melt towards the earth. What would your heart like to receive from the earth? Perhaps taking a natural breath or sigh here. And then we'll interlace the fingers and return the hands to the earth interlaced. Tuck the bottom pinky inside the basket of your hands, so you have two pinkies on the ground. Good. And then shift forward, tip your weight into the forearms by lifting the hips. Bring the knees back to each other, and then curl the toes under and lift the knees, so that the head is swinging free of the earth. We're pushing the floor away, broad collarbones. You can play with rising up really high on your toes, or if there are other variations that you know, feel free to play with them. This is dolphin pose. We are strengthening the shoulders, we're heating up the body, it's an inversion. We are decompressing the neck. Take another breath or two. And then your choice, you could come back directly through child's pose and stretch out onto your belly, or you could walk your feet backwards and walk your gaze forwards to a low forearm plank, and then lower the knees and hips to the earth. We will all rest on the earth fully. So you could make a basket of your hands for your forehead to rest on, or you could take the side of your face to the floor. Really walk your legs back long so the pelvis is close to the floor. And let's simply breathe and settle in and let the earth hold So let's start with a few rounds of cobra pose, bringing the fingertips underneath the shoulders. You'll roll the shoulders up, back, and down enough to lift your head and heart off of the floor. And as you exhale, return the forehead to kiss the earth. Every inhalation, roll the shoulders back, use the back to lift yourself. Exhale, return, you got it. So you're using the back strength, not really the arm strength. So you might be able to lift your hands up to the fingertips or even let the hands hover off of the floor a little bit, because it's that mid-back pull that's really lifting you. Beautiful. You are more than welcome to play here with cobra pose, or you can turn this into locust pose. So for locust, we would have the hips pushing down so much that the legs and arms rise. Lots of variations from locust. You could do your hands out like a goddess, like Mission Impossible. You could sweep the hands behind the back and interlace the fingers for some more height. Or if you're feeling very strong, you could be Superman and reach forward, although that does put more effort into the back. So we're taking a few breaths, finding the back bend that feels appropriate for you, something that feels like enough effort to hold your attention, but not creating any strain. Just finishing another couple breaths so you feel satisfied. When you feel satisfied, relax completely on the floor and just let yourself rest. Just completely let. Feeling the echo that the posture left behind. What is it like to be you right now? And can you just let yourself be? So to finish our back bends, we will take ourselves into seal pose. Two options for seal pose. The first option is to be on your elbows, fall into your shoulders and drop your head. So that's the first option. The second option for seal pose is to place your hands on the ground, use your arms to push the body up and stay still. Fall into your shoulders and just be in your joints. So seal pose is not a muscular pose. It's a pose for the connective tissue and the joints. So we do it in stillness. You just find a shape that works. No effort in stillness. Let the lower back collapse in on itself a little bit. Feel the stretch in the front body. Just a few more breaths in seal pose. If you love this, this is a pose you can do at home for a couple minutes if it feels safe for your back. And when you feel satisfied, it might be a different moment from anyone else. When you feel satisfied, carefully release the whole way back down onto the earth. We will rest in half frog pose. So when you get to the earth, slide your right knee off of the mat to the side, to the floor beside the mat. And you also want to swim your foot onto the floor beside the mat. So you've got a right angle in your knee. Yeah, beautiful. And then just rest. Just let the earth catch. If the earth had a heartbeat, what would it sound like? Let's take one more breath. And then simply switch legs. Once you've got it on the other side, sink right back. It is springtime, even though it might not feel like it right now. And we're at the moment of the equinox, when the hours of light during the day equal the hours of darkness during the night. We're at that balance point of light and dark. So the question at this time of year is, how can you honor your light, and how can you honor your darkness? Can you value them both and know that they support one another? What does that mean to you? Let's enjoy another nice deep breath or two to finish this side of half run. And we'll let that left leg come back to neutral, then gently press your way back to child's pose. Take your time, take any movements you need on the way back. And we're noticing what has shifted in your spine and in your lower back since the last time you were here. Enjoy the natural breath or even a hum on your exhalation. You can remain here as long as you need to until your back feels neutralized. When you're ready to move on, we will meet you up in a downward facing dog. So when you're ready for that downward facing dog, we'll come through table pose. We'll curl the toes under to lift the knees and put the shoulders very far behind the wrists, even if the knees are bent. And then walk out the legs, bending one knee and then the other, perhaps rising onto the toes and sinking into the heels. Just like in bridge pose, we push the feet forward to lift the chest. In down dog, we push the hands down and forward in order to flip that happy puppy tail up to the sky behind you. Relax the neck a bit. Stay broad in the collarbones, broad in the shoulders. If you've got another 5 breaths in you, enjoy 5 more breaths here. If you'd rather not today, walk the feet up towards the hands and we will meet you in standing forward fold. So again, whenever those breaths are complete for you, the feet walk up behind the hands. Let's take a little halfway lift by rolling your shoulder blades back together on the spine and then a big forward fold. You can give your legs some loving touch if you'd like here. We'll bend the knees deeply and drop the weight of the head. If your hands are bumping the floor, you could grab opposite elbows. And let's sway a little bit side to side. With the right knee deeply bent, let's straighten the left leg and take the left hand to the left hip. So we're stretching the straight left leg. We'll bring the left hand back down, change the legs, the left knee bends, the right leg straightens, the right hand comes to the right hip. And we're stretching the side. Gorgeous. So you can switch between these two sides at your own pace. You might even lift the arm to point at the ceiling instead of grabbing the hip. And you could swim towards the legs like we did earlier on the floor. few more breaths to each side. We'll come back through center with the legs somewhat straight. Take an inhale to roll the shoulders back, halfway lift, straighten the back of the neck, look at the floor, and then exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees very deeply, bend the ankles, hinge at the hips to lift the head, shoulders, and mid-back to a chair pose. Thumbs come to the heart. This time, instead of activating the legs inward, instead we'll activate the legs outward, as if your heels are trying to rip your mat apart. This is going to broaden the lower back. It's going to make it a lot more work, so continue to breathe. You could gaze left and right. Good. Nice strength. Relax all 10 toes, and then we'll push the feet down in order to reach the arms up and maybe back if that feels good. Thumbs down to the heart. Tadasana. So welcome to standing. We'll take a moment to shift your weight to the right and to the left. Find that balance point between them. Shift your weight forward and notice what that does to the muscles of your back and the muscles of the front body, the thighs. And then shift your weight backwards. You'll know you've gone too far if the toes freak out. Notice what that does to the low belly, the back. And then we'll find that balance point between the two. And then let's evert the ankles. So the outer edge of your foot, the blade of your foot, the pinky toe side, we want to try to lift that off the floor and then lower it back down. Do that a few times. Lift it off the floor and then lower it back down. Good. So let's bring the big toes together. Find a gaze at the horizon. And if there's nothing to look at, just imagine you have X-ray vision, you're Superman again. You can just see forever. The shoulders stay relaxed back and down. Let's take the arms overhead and then relax the shoulders down. Zip up the low belly and the mid-back. Push down with your big toes. Lift your heels. Here's the tricky part. Evert your ankles. So engage the outer ankles as if you're going to pick up the blade. Yes. Continue to breathe and gaze at the horizon. It's quite the balance. Low belly, mid-back, big toes. Low belly, mid-back, toes. Rock solid, everyone. Continue to breathe. Ooh, it's a lot of work. One more breath here. And then exhale the heels to the ground. Let's take a big swooping forward fold over the legs. Halfway lift. And forward fold. Coming into our lunge, let's step the right foot to the back of the mat. So you've got that left foot at the front. And we'll pulse the hips up and down a few times. So as you inhale, lower the hips and look forward. As you exhale, lift the hips and start to bow over a straightening front leg. So we're pulsing in and out of the pose. Invite your breath into whatever you're feeling. The next time you're in your low lunge, drop the right heel onto the floor, push through the feet and rise up to a warrior pose. And let's bend and straighten the left leg. Inhale to reach up and straighten the left leg. Exhale to bend the knees, sweep the arms open, and maybe point down at the floor. So you're tracing a whole circle as you lift up, and an entire circle as you lower down. It's time for this arms to come off. Good. A couple of breaths here. Until you can find your way into a nice static warrior two pose. Now once we're here, see if you can use your straight leg a lot more. Like a kickstand, we want to sit some weight back into that straight leg. Let it hold you up a little. And then that right knee should be able to melt a little bit more. Keep the low belly and the mid-back engaged. And we'll tip into a reverse warrior. Right hand back, left arm up, and maybe over. Beautiful. And let's come on down to a side angle. The left arm comes forward, elbow onto knee. Right hand up to the sky, or maybe past the ear for a big blade from the outer edge of the right foot to the pinky toe. We'll take one more breath here. And take this right hand and swim it down inside of your right foot. Come up onto your right toes, returning to your lunge. The left hand also comes inside of the right foot. So both hands are inside of the foot. You can lower the back knee or keep it lifted, your choice. And we'll slowly bend the elbows as we come down into our lizard pose. You can pulse up and down a few times if you'd like, or you could rock a little bit side to side, but we're working our way into that outer left hip sensation. Maybe even onto the forearms if you prefer. Nice, a few rounds of breath here. Yeah, it's a lot of sensation to breathe through. See if you can relax around it. Let it flow through you and out. Let it flow through you and out. Last breath or two in lizard. So, and then we'll slowly press back up onto the hands. Oh my goodness. Let's lower that back knee if it's not lowered already. Keep your left toes on the floor and start to shift your weight back. Start to straighten out the left leg. So we want this stretch in the top of the left foot. We're really pointing those left toes forward and pulling the hips back. Again, you could rock your hips a little side to side here to feel that sensation. Good, now let's change the angle. So we'll curl the toes off of the mat, flex the ankle, and now we're feeling things in the back of the leg. Again, we can shift the weight side to side. Last variation, we'll take the right hand across the foot to the outside and maybe even to the floor beyond the foot. And we're feeling for the outer edge of the leg. Beautifully done, Bob. There's a lot going on there. Take another breath or two. Good. And then we'll put one hand on either side of the foot. We'll shift the weight forward, curl the back toes under to lift the back knee. Take as many steps as you need to get that back foot up to meet the front. Let's take a halfway lift and a forward fold. You made it. Take one big inhale to lift the whole way up to standing and maybe back. Stretch the front of your body open. And then exhale, sit down into chair pose. Take a nice strong inhale here in chair pose. And then exhale, fold the rest of the way down. Take an inhalation to roll the shoulders back, halfway lift. And exhale, big forward fold. And we'll let the left foot float to the back of the mat for your lunge. Good. So we're pulsing in and out of the lunge like we did on the other side. Did we already do this side? No, we did not. Okay, sorry. Okay, good, thank you. We can never be too short. So we're inhaling as the hips go down and the heart lifts. We're exhaling as the hips lift and the front leg straightens. Beautiful pace, very nice. So the next time you're in your lunge, drop the back heel down so that foot is solid, and then push through the feet to rise up into warrior two, facing our beautiful fireplace. So we'll inhale to straighten the leg and reach up. As you exhale, bend the knees, sweep the arms out and down, tracing a big circle in the space around you. So as you move, consider moving the shoulder blades first and then letting the arms be a reaction to the shoulder blades moving. Yeah. It changes the way that it feels in the body, it changes the way you think about it. And then once you are ready, we'll settle down into that nice static warrior two. Put 50% of your weight in that back foot, so really drive that back leg down to the earth, and then let the right knee mount. Good. Left hand to the earth, right arm up to the sky, big stretch, stay seated low in your warrior, that's it. And then we'll bring this right arm back up and over, to rest on the right knee. The left hand goes past the ear perhaps or up to the sky. Good, stretch here. And then we're taking a gentle dive to the inside of the foot. Left hand comes down inside the foot, right hand comes down. We lift up the back toes. Your choice if you'd like to keep the knee lifted or lower it. And then we might bend and straighten the elbows a few times until you're ready to settle into lizard pose on this side. Option to rock the hips a little side to side. This is also sometimes called dragon pose, which I feel like is more accurate. It's a pretty fiery, intense pose. Breathe fire when you're in it. Maybe 2 or 3 final breaths in this pose. And we'll find our way up to our hands. We want to shift the weight back. We're keeping the right toes on the floor and shifting the weight back as we start to straighten the front leg. So we want to stretch in the top of the leg. Good. Enjoy that for a few moments. And then we'll curl the toes back towards you, letting the back of the leg feel the sensation. So flex the ankle. Yeah, you got it. Pull the foot back towards you. Maybe swaying the hips. Just as before, we're transitioning to standing by tipping our weight forward into that right foot. Curl the back toes under. Take as many steps as you need to get the foot forward. Take an inhale to lift halfway up and exhale to forward fold. Keep the knees bent and we're scrolling one vertebra at a time up towards standing. Pointing the vertebrae towards the ceiling as you go. Good. Keep pushing down to roll up. Whenever you get up, roll the shoulders open and reach the fingers down. Let's take a nice sun breath. Inhaling the arms out and up, gather some energy, and exhale, pull it down into your heart. Interlace the fingers, reach them down. Inhale the arms forward and up. Leave them here, and exhale your shoulders away from the ears. Pick up the belly and the mid-back and arc to one side. Doesn't matter which one. Coming back through center on an inhale, we'll arc to the other side. Back up through center, free the arms. As we exhale, we'll take half of a swan dive, pause at the halfway point. Inhale here, and then exhale the rest of the way down. Give the legs some loving touch, maybe a gentle bit of arm strength to pull yourself down towards the feet. And if you know and love gorilla pose, here's your opportunity. Just be careful because your hands are trapped if you're doing that. A couple of breaths here, relax the weight of the head. And then we will, if you've got gorilla, release the hands. We will tiptoe the feet a little wider and the toes turned out. Let's settle into our squat. So if you'd like, you could place a block or two underneath you to sit on. We're bringing the hands against the heart. At first, you're lifting the heart up towards the thumbs. And then the other variation is to let the heart travel backwards and drop the weight of the head. Notice which one works better for your back and choose your favorite. Let's breathe into the low body. There's that lightning bug image again of the whole lower third of the body filling on every inhalation. So the next part is a little tricky to do gracefully. We want to come down to a seat. So if you can, maybe one hand behind you to catch you as you carefully lower, gentle on those knees. Let's take the feet into a nice wide seat when you get here. So I mentioned that winter is kidney season, but it is still technically spring, which is liver season. So this is a liver pose. The meridian for the liver runs down the insides of the legs. Before we forward fold, we'll take a couple side bends. Let's take either the back of the right hand or the back of the right forearm, whatever you prefer, to the inside of the right thigh. Now push against the right thigh so you can lift the left side of the chest and arm. Then take this top arm, swim it overhead as if maybe someday you'll touch those toes. You can stay in stillness, or you can sweep the arm down and continue to circle it on every breath, inhaling up and over and exhaling down in the center. Whatever gives you enough sensation to hold your attention, but not so much that it causes strain. Beautiful variations. One more breath here. Reverse that circle to pick your body back up and let the arm relax. Notice a difference of temperature from one side of the body to the other. Anything else you're aware of? And then let's even it out. So either the back of the left hand or the back of the left forearm to the inside of the leg. Push against it to open the chest and lift the other arm. Maybe you tip into stillness with the arm past the ear. Or maybe you take some big swimming motions down, back, up, and around. Notice the differences on this side of your body. Last breath or two. And then we'll use an inhale to lift the body back up, release the arm, notice how you feel. We'll work our way to the forward fold the same way we did earlier with our feet together. So we want to take the straight torso forward like a hand on a clock, just 1 second forward. And then swing forward to side, like you're carving out little half circles in front of you, forward to side, forward to side. So you can stay with this movement as long as you enjoy it, as long as this feels productive and satisfying. At any point, you're welcome to relax the weight of the head and fall forward. Continue to invite your breath in. Remember, one breath at a time is how we make progress. We don't want to attack the body like a tidal wave, but rather we want each breath to be like tiny little waves of water lapping against stone, slowly eroding it over time, washing away the tightness. Whatever you're feeling, just let it be. It's a very welcome sneeze.
Smoke is kind of ticklish.
Oh, we know it's smoky. It is smoky.
No,
No, I didn't know. Yeah, it's very dry.
Is that scary?
Yeah. Let's take maybe just 3 or 4 more breaths here. When your body says thank you, that's enough. We'll carefully press back up to a tall seat. Leave the legs as they are for the moment. Just come back up to a tall seat. And then we'll do a little counter pressure for the tailbone. So place your hands behind you. A very bad posture. We're just going to drop the sacrum onto the floor behind you. So shrunk your shoulders. And this will give some counter pressure to the low spine. You might even get a little pop down there. It's horrible, did you say? Oh, you don't like it? Yeah.
So we have all this other kind of skill.
Oh yeah, that's how you're supposed to feel. Yeah, that's right. That's it. You do whatever. Let's take one more breath here. And then we'll come back onto center. You can support under the knees if you like, as you carefully bring the knees up, maybe give them a little hug. You can take any counter movements that you need to rinse out that long lean forward. So let's scroll down onto the back. We've got just one more thing to do before Shavasana. So from here, you could reach forward and slowly unroll the spine down one vertebra at a time, continuing to breathe on your way down. Taking a moment on your back to get reoriented with gravity. Yeah, just let your spine be. Good. And then we want a little bit of internal rotation to counter all of that big external rotation. So what we're going to do is place both feet on the floor. Place the right ankle onto the left knee. As if you were going to do a pigeon, but that's not what we're going to do. The right ankle on the left knee. Your left foot is going to walk closer to you and closer to the left. So take a step to the left with your left foot, over to the left, like off way past the center. Then let your knees fall to the right. And what we've done there is we've pulled your left knee into an internal rotation. If it makes sense in your body, you could reach down with your left hand and pull that left heel to the outside of your left hip. This is basically half hero pose on the left side. Make the posture meet you where you are if you need to put a bolster under a knee or if you need to come out of it and take a different twist. Once you've got a shape that works, let's settle into stillness for a few moments. See if you can soften your grasp on the sensation for a few more breaths. Hold the practice nice and easy in your body. And then as you feel satisfied, bring the legs back up through center. We'll unravel the legs, maybe stretch them out if you need, and we'll set up for this internal rotation on the other side. So any little movements you need in the meantime to neutralize. And then to set this up on the other side, both feet will come onto the floor. The left ankle will come onto the right knee. Now move the right foot closer to you and to the right. Take a big step to the right with your right foot. Then let the knees fall to the left, and that will pull the right knee into that internal rotation, that half hero. If you want, reach down with your right foot and snuggle reach with your right hand and snuggle your right foot closer to your outer right hip, if that makes sense for your bone structure. So a lot of times if you're very comfortable in those open rotations, like the wide leg forward fold that we just did, then this sort of internal rotation can be very challenging, sometimes even on the knees or the hip joints. Vice versa, if you're really happy with these internal rotations, you might feel a little more uncomfortable in the wide leg external rotations. It just has to do with the way your femur is shaped, the head of the femur, the acetabulum, and the way it sits in the hip socket. And that's all. It's not whether you're good at yoga, right? It just has to do with how your bones are shaped. So whatever you've got, love it, settle into it, breathe with it. We'll be here just a little bit more. Same thing as before, when you feel satisfied, when your body says, okay, that's enough, then you can carefully come out of the pose, take any final movements that you need to feel complete before Shavasana. So if that means you need a little inversion, you can slip the bolster under your hips and send the feet to the sky. If that means you need to dive right into Shavasana, do not pass go, do not collect $200. That's fine too. So let it be what you need it to be for these last few moments, and we will meet in that resting posture when you're ready. And all you have to do is remember that breath and sensation are the heart of your yoga practice. So whatever you feel, breathe into that feeling. And you are practicing yoga. As soon as you personally are in Shavasana, just tune everything else out. Let it all fall to the background. Maybe give yourself a little sigh out of the mouth to drop in. And just let yourself be. Practice letting go. Notice what you are aware of in this moment. See if you can draw your attention back to the physical body, gentle movement of breath, perhaps awakening small movements in the fingers and toes. And let's eventually bring the body the whole way up to a comfortable seated posture. Reconnecting with the height of your spine when you get here. Maybe a little lift of the heart and face to get some fresh air and some light. Notice what you have received. Notice what you have released. Notice what it is like to be you right now. And let's bring our hands together at the heart and focus on your own inner light. You might picture this as an actual ball of light within you. And know that that same light is living within everyone here, practicing with us in the studio or at home. That light is awake and alive in everyone all over the globe who is in this moment doing yoga or meditating or doing a spiritual practice of some sort. And let's imagine that that light is a great web, a connection from one light to the other that encircles the globe, that illuminates all of mankind. And with that global awareness, I say to you that the light within me is the same as the light within you, and that my light bows to yours. Namaste.
Visit us online at soulyoga.org for details on a private session or public class. Namaste.